Yearly, all industries has to submit this Form 5. What does this statement mean? You can be a cement industry, manufacturing of steel, mobile phones, laptop, you can be a leather industry. For all the industries, they have to submit this Form 5 to the government. Generally, they have to submit this form in 31st of March. What are the other things which has to be submitted 31st of March of every year? Do you have any idea? Budget. Budget will come on February 1st. You check every year the date of February 1 in the parliament, they will announce the budget. Financial minister on February 1st, she will come with a suitcase. Have you seen this in news? Now, what is the relevant to 31st of March? What will happen on this date? Year ending of what? Bank. Bank year ending. What they will do is, bank will submit all the account throughout the year, whatever they have made, they will submit to whom? RBI, yes, Reserve Bank. All the private banks will submit their financial transaction throughout the year, they will submit to Reserve Bank. And then they will start from April 1 as new financial year. The same time, environmental statement has to be submitted from all industries to the Central Pollution Control Board. The industry does not only need to submit financial transaction, they have to submit environmental statement of Form 7 to the Pollution Control Board. If you are running an industry in Karnataka, you have to submit to State Pollution Control Board. Okay, what are the things you should submit? How the form will look like is part A. They have to furnish their industry detail. What are the name of the industry? Industry category. Have you heard this name? Industry category. The government has listed the industries into different colors. Category A, category B, category C. What are this means? The red color industry are polluting the environment highly. Certain industries, imagine atomic power station. It is an industry. Imagine a country is full of atomic power station, is very harmful to the environment. Recent days, before 15 days, India has successfully launched a missile. The capacity of the missile is to travel from 3,500 kilometers. India is one among the country which has nuclear power. They can launch the nuclear power of nuclear bomb to 3,500 kilometers. That means what? They can target China. Previously, India had the capacity of going to 750 kilometers only. They can carry a nuclear power only to 750 kilometers. That means they can target only Pakistan, they can target Sri Lanka, the nearby countries. If their launching is 3,500 kilometers, means now they can reach Russia. Now they can reach China. So this is the importance of that. Why I am indicating is, if a country has number of nuclear power stations, that means what? Nuclear waste they will generate. Where will they dump? Question mark. Environment is contaminated. Country is not having a nuclear power plant. They are only producing power through solar energy. In the sense, the country is not polluting their environment. Example, Iceland. They have natural power stations. That means geothermal energy. They doesn't harm the environment. These are the examples. Why I am highlighting you is, industry primary categories are there. Currently, engineers, as you CSE students, want to make a good project, but you will search for topics, you will not at all get topics. Whatever topic you search is already existing. The thing is, you have to go these areas. If you go to at least one industry, you can do number of projects. You go to a nuclear industry, you go to a steel industry, aluminium, which I am going to address. We students, what we do is, we do not know where the society is urging. We will be somewhere roaming around. The society will be going around somewhere. We will be roaming around somewhere. That is the lagging between research academia versus society. the society will be severely affected with some issues. The society affected with a pandemic nearly for 2 or 3 years. We know that we have a medical facility to top class standards, but who introduced the first vaccination to the society in the world? United Kingdom. From this you can understand if there is any problem in the society, who is having the capability to do research. That is why people after completing the bachelor degree, soon after they go to UK. Why? Have you seen your seniors? They will go to UK for some other masters. Why you go for UK for masters? Because they do research for the society. They came with the vaccine. I am addressing the current standards of education. We have to go to the industrial level, industrial red categories. We have to know about red categories of industry so that we can solve the problem. Production capacity, year of establishment, date of last environmental statement submitted. This I will explain. Part B, how much water consumption per meter cube. These standards you just see here. I will explain with an example. How many parts are there? Part B is water and raw material. Part C is pollution discharge in environment of output. So in this table they have to submit. Part D is hazardous waste, solid waste. Part E, Part F up to Part I they have to submit. So this is an overall idea. Now currently I will give an example of Aditya Birla. Have you heard this name? Aditya Birla, topmost millionaire or billionaire in our country. He is having an organization of bauxite manufacturing plant. Bauxites are the primary material to manufacture aluminium. You use aluminium for manufacturing of aeroplanes. In vehicles, multiple places you can see aluminium. Does AC have aluminium coil? Two types of AC available. One AC will be available for 25,000. Another type AC is available for 35,000. The same cooling capacity. 1 ton AC for 25,000 also air conditioner available. 35,000 also air conditioner available. What is the difference is? If the coil is aluminium coil, the rate is less. If the coil is copper coil, the rate is high. So aluminium coils are used in air conditioning. So these purpose, they will be mining the bauxite. Through bauxite, they can manufacture the aluminium. This has been addressed in 26th of September 2022. So when they should submit the environmental statement form 5? March 31. What is the last date to submit? On or before 30th of September. I give assignment. I will say that on or before October 29. But November, December came. Till now students are submitting the assignment. Not only students, you check the environmental statement has to be submitted for the duration of 31st March. What is the deadline? 30th September every year they have to submit. Even Aditya Birla, one among the student, when they are submitting? 26th September 2022. What is the date of last date of environmental findings? 30th March. They also the same way. You do not think Aditya Birla is millionaire. No, he is also having the ability of submitting nearing the deadline. 27, 28 will be holiday. That is why before the day they will submit. So they are submitting to whom? Member Secretary of State Pollution Control Board. I told that State Pollution Control Board has the authority of the state oriented issues. So since they are state manufacturing plant, this is the exact manufacturing plant of Aditya Birla. This is located in Odisha and they submit this financial year ending environmental statement to the address and Utkal Alumina International Limited. So this is the product. So they take the bauxite and they make this alumina. Alumina is the key element. After extracting the bauxite mining, they produce alumina. From alumina, you can make aluminium. So this is the final aluminium. Can you see this? Like this, they are going to manufacture. The head has to submit to the regional Odisha State Pollution Control Board. Now, I have compared two companies in order to understand better. What are the companies I have compared? This is the Form 5 from aluminium industry, and this is a Form 5 for steel industry. Different industries submit in a different way. This is what I want to highlight. Part A is the name and address of the owner. Who is the owner? S.K. Mishra for the aluminium industry, and B.N.S. Prakash Rao is the vice president of JSW Steel. This I have taken from JSW Steel plant. And what is the production capacity of that organization is 8.5 million tons per annum of bauxite ore. This is what their manufacturing capacity. For steel, 3 into 30 MW. What is MW? Megawatts of power they use. Captive power they use. Can you see red and large? What is red and large? Red industry. That means what? This industry will pollute environment highly. Now, this is what industry? Red and large. Can you see this? Whenever you see Form 5 industry, if they indicate red, in the sense they are polluting the environment in a higher way. They are large industry. When you are applying for registration of industry, you have to highlight what kind of industry you are, small, micro or large industry, like this. Now, what are the part B is water and raw material consumption. How much of water per day they consume. Can you see this? Industrial dust separation and others. How much water they consume? 560 meter cube per day. For this, they have to install the water meters in the industry. 560 meter cube per day for the manufacturing of aluminium. But for manufacturing of steel, how much they require? 44 meter cube per day for process, 3858 meter cube per day, 3500, and for domestic purpose they use 57. Totally around 4000 m cube of water is required per day for steel industry. But for aluminium industry, how much water is required? Domestic and other purpose they consume nearly 170, 560. That means 800 meter cube of water is sufficient for manufacturing alumina. But how much m cube of water is required for steel? More than 4000 m cube of water. Can you compare? The industry will consume more water where you have to provide steel power plant. Wherever water are available in plenty, and alumina, that means bauxite industry, you can understand that less amount of water is required. They have submitted, and what is the amount of power they consume is 2.6 and 2.75 during 2018-19 and 19-20 they have submitted here. Yes. Next thing is raw material consumption. How much of raw material? Manufacturing of alumina, they require bauxite. How much of raw material is consumed? For bauxite manufacturing industry, you don't need any raw material because this is a raw material industry. Imagine this class will be available for AC manufacturers. AC manufacturers needs how many raw materials? Imagine Blue Star. Blue Star is a AC industry. Then Whirlpool, Samsung. These companies need raw material. What raw material they need? For manufacturing AC, what are the materials you need? Copper. You need copper. You need for wires. You need plastics. You need silicons. These things are required. So, since this is a raw material industry, you don't need any raw material for that. Next thing is raw material for steel. They use coal. For what purpose they use coal? So, iron has to be burnt. How they are burning? They are using coal. They are using LDO. Then they are using bed material. So, these materials they will use for burning the iron to make the coal. That is why they use coal in this much of metric ton. So they get more waste. Next thing is part C, pollution discharge to the environment. Since no water they consume, so no discharge will be there for them. It is not applicable for them. When you compare with air quality standards, the alumina industry does not burn. That is why there is no pollution discharge in national ambient standards. Now next thing is air emission for steel industry. When they burn the iron, what are the chemicals it exhausts? PM10. What do you mean by PM10? Particulate matter of 10. How much they have monitored that 58 microgram per Newton meter cube and PM 2.5 of 32.2. Now what is the air quality standards? Can you remember my previous sessions minimum national standard? If a vehicle has to run, what are the minimum standards I have mentioned? Can you remember this? Central Pollution Control Board says that these are the allowable concentration in ambient air from the industry. Can you see how much particulate matter of 10 is allowable? 60 and 10. How much does the particulate matter they exhaust? 58. That is under the limit, well within national ambient air quality standards. Is given as 60, particulate matter of 2.5, 40 microgram. So they are well within the limit. They should submit that they are abiding the limit. If it is too much there, the Pollution Control Board will not accept. Air quality in environment, sulfur dioxide, what is the limit here? They have given 50 and 80. So what is their limit? 600. So there is no variation when they compare with the previous year. This is 1269. But SO2, how much they can discharge? Only 50 to 80. But how much they discharge? 1200. So they need smokestack scrubbers. They cannot let into air quickly. So they need processing. So this is what they highlight here. Sulfur dioxide, PM, etc. Now, what about alumina industry regarding hazardous waste? How much hazardous waste of oil is being discharged? 59 in 2021 and 48.61 in 21-22. The Pollution Control Board will check that either the industry is following a refined process. In the first year, the organization can let more waste, but the process has to get improved. You can understand from this. Discharge in parallels 305 and 233. This contaminated cotton is 0.175 tons and 0.167. Can you see there is an improvement in their process? All the hazardous waste are improved. Next, hazardous waste from steel industry. Can you see in 2019 and 20, 1.84 of oil they spent, but in the year of 1920, how much of oil they spent? 2.38. They have increased. This question they will ask when they are coming for auditing. They check that whatever process you follow for this year, in next year it has to get reduced. If not reducing, the people when they come to audit, they will be inquiring this. And rest of the things are much lesser. You can see sludge filters, discarded containers are much lesser. Lead compounds are 14.29 and 4.9, which has been highly reduced. Then solid waste of aluminum industry, they have increased the overburden capacity. When you are comparing with recycled material, how much they recycle? 39,072, 45,095. Do they have a process of solid disposal? They are not disposing or recycling this waste quantity. They are using it as backfill. That means after manufacturing that, they are dumping in their industry. They are not recycling. I told that recycling has to be done. These industry keep the disposal waste in their place. They doesn't sold that and they doesn't dispose. But when you check here, solid waste generation in steel industry, fly ash is being generated. 2879 and 2541 of metric ton they generate, but recycled and reutilized. How much they reutilized? 2879 they have produced, but how much they recycled? 2255. Nearly 80% they recycle that. But when you compare aluminum industry, they doesn't recycle. In steel industry, they are recycling and used as other material before disposal. This is the advantage of this. Next thing is specifying the characteristics of hazardous waste as solid waste, indicate disposal practice for both the categories of waste. So this is what the bauxite industry do. Disposal practice, what they do is they overburden. What do you mean by overburden? They dump all the waste in same place. One by one, they increase the overburden in a systematic way. This is what they use. But when you compare with the steel industry, you can see these are all non-hazardous waste. What are they? Fly ash. When you burn the coal, what happened? From that dust particle, the ash comes. Ash is called fly ash. Generally, ash is formed. They will be collecting that. This fly ash is being generated. 100% disposed to fly ash bricks manufacturing unit around the plant. Have you seen bricks? Fly ash bricks. Bricks are two types. In market you can see red bricks and ash color brick. Have you seen ash color bricks? You Google it. Bricks are available for 10 rupees. Fly ash bricks are available for 7 rupees. It is cost effective bricks. Now you can see steel manufacturing industry 100% use the fly ash as a byproduct. From the waste they generate byproduct of fly ash. The hazardous waste, after manufacturing this, where they send this hazardous waste? Can you see? Sent to TNPCB. What do you mean by that? Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board. The industry has some hazardous waste, but they take this waste and they send to the Pollution Control Board so that they will be not having future problem. What is Part G? Is impact of pollution control measures taken over conservation of natural resources, consequently in cost of production. They consume nature and then they sell and make it as a revenue. They have to compensate the environment for what are the measures they are making. This is what the question which is asked in Part G. Air pollution. What are the control measures they do, which they have highlighted here? Sulfur dioxide. Does the aluminum industry or alumina industry have reduced the sulfur dioxide, which I have shown you in the previous slide? You have to compare that. What they do? They spray the dust collector and equip with water spraying system. So this I will explain in further slide. During mining, what are the difficulties will be there? The image is available in next slide. So what are the process they do to reduce air pollution and what are the process they do to reduce water pollution? Now, which industry consumes more water? Either alumina industry or steel industry? Steel industry. Can you see in the Part G for steel industry, they speak on water pollution. How much water they consume? Around 4,000 meter cube of water per day they consume. That means that much of water they are going to waste. So what are they going to do is they will be using for runoff course, for garland drains, and then what are the measures they use here to reduce the water pollution? They have made check dams to provide around them in order to valley to arrest the sediments. That means all the waste is being collected in a particular pond. and they have a process of zero discharge. Zero discharge means no water is being letted out outside. So the steel manufacturing plant have the treatment plant. What are the two treatment plant they have? Sewage treatment plant and effluent treatment plant. These two things they have, and they treat them before letting it into the effluent. Next thing, sound and vibration control measures. During mining, what will happen? You place detonators and this will blast, and it creates a dust around a particular place. So the alumina industry speaks on sound and vibration. There will be people around the place who are existing. They should not get harmed because of this process. So they highlight that what is the noise limit. There is a noise pollution, no? 75 decibel. You check. If there is a noise for 75 decibel, it is called pollution. The mining industry provides detonators. That means there will be high noise. What is the noise they have measured here? 85 decibel. Is it acceptable? No. Can you see this? They are addressing prevention of noise pollution, what they have done. Since they will be using blast and they will be vibrating. After detonating, particles will be large. That they will drill by using pneumatic drillers. So those noise will be there, that they are addressing here, that what are the process they follow in order to reduce this. So they use crushers and noise levels are being carried out. What are the instrument they have fixed? Seismograph. Seismograph, during any blast there will be a vibration. So seismograph is an equipment which measures the vibration. If too much of vibration is there, the building will shake. Imagine your house is near a mining. What are the difficulties will be there? Constantly you will hear a blasting sound. Noise pollution. During a blast there will be dust particles. You will inhale the dust particles. You will be getting a disease. Can you understand? So during a vibration, your building itself can shake. So these things has to be measured. So they are making the measurement. So for your understanding, these much of equipments will be used in a mining plant. They create vibrations. These machines will be used for excavation, skid steer loaders, which will be used for drilling. So these things they will use for mining area. And part G is called impact of pollution control measures on conservation of natural resources. What they do in steel industry. They address that 100% solid waste of fly ash they use for brick manufacturers. So they are safe. Steel manufacturing industry, they are safe that how? They do not let the waste. What they do? 100% they recycle for fly ash manufacturing brick unit. Sprinkler system. Sprinkler irrigation. Have you heard this? There will be a tube. It will sprinkle the water. During any mine, you are mining some places. There will be a dust particles there around you. In order to reduce that, can you see they are constantly spraying this? This has to be done in order to reduce the air pollution. Have you seen when you are going in a highway, there will be a sand carrying lorry. Have you seen the water will be sprinkled in that lorry? Why they are sprinkling? The police will catch. He will make a charge sheet. That is why this is mandatory. If any audit comes, you don't have the spraying system. They will highlight. So these things they have to take. This is part H is what? Additional measures, investment proposal for environmental protecting, including abatement of pollution. Abatement means reduction. What are the process they use to reduce pollution? Does this process reduce air pollution? Yes. Check Delhi area. Do you have air pollution? Yes, severe air pollution is there. Do you have industries around Delhi situated with number of industries? This much of parameters they have to check. But how the environment is polluted? Can you question? This is whose problem? Delhi is polluted. How it is polluted? By industries. But industry says that this much of careness they take for environment. How many parameters I am saying? How much water they consume, how much land they consume, how they dispose, everything they are highlighting here. Even though the environment is polluting. How? It has been written, but it is not done. You think businessmen are very pure. We think students are students, but students are not students. Students means they should learn, no? Who is a student? Student will learn, obey the words of the teacher, but they will not do. Who are industrialists? They should not pollute. They will pollute. That is the attitude of students. That is the attitude of industry. The industries will say that we care on environment. We does not pollute environment. They give number of report, but actually what will happen? Pollution will be there. Actually student will be getting degree but not having knowledge. Industries will pollute environment, generate revenue. This is the place where we live. Police dress he will wear. He will not give bill and he will put the money in his pocket. He is not police. You go to a doctor for some reason. He will do surgery for some reason. He will get you money. This is a doctor. If you go there, he will remove one of your organ and he will send you out. You don't know either that organ is there or not. This is the place where we live. Be careful. Currently, does India is developing nation or developed nation? Developing. Russia is the first country who called India as developed nation. So now I will be discussing on steel. What are the additional measures they do for abatement of pollution? What they have said is they have greenhouse gas emission systems. Since they manufacture, they have boilers. SO2 emission has to be met. I have highlighted you that SO2 is going beyond the limit. The limit should be 80, but they have 1200 of SO2. Here they highlight that what are the process they do to reduce greenhouse gas emission. Now, part I is called miscellaneous. What are the other works they do is all the alumina plant does have ambient air quality monitoring system. Have you seen this kind of places in an industry? If you go to an industry, you will be having this kind of place. Can you see this instrument? What is this instrument? This is air quality monitoring instrument. By this, the industry has to check their air quality every day. They have to send to Pollution Control Board of State Pollution Control Board. So this they highlight that any other particular in respect of environmental protection and abatement of pollution. They have this air quality monitoring instrument. They will daily send the air quality limit to the Central Pollution Control Board. So how many samplings they do? More than 1 lakh of samplings has been done and they are sending. This is the instrument. This is a larger view and this is a closer view of this. What is the O2? CO, particulate matter, how much they exhaust or emit, you can see here. This is what steel industry, what they do for pollution abatement measure. Can you see this? What are the works they do for protecting the green environment? So they have planted, how much of trees they have planted, how much of contribution they have done to the society, and what are the safety measures they have done, women empowerment they have done. These are the other things they have done for environmental protection.